Hello people, welcome back to the channel. We are back again. It is Thursday the 6th of June 2024. Big up all the real ones. The weekend is close. We are here, ladies and gentlemen. Thursday is the new Friday, so the weekend starts here. Hit that like button, do subscribe to the new channel. Yeah, to the new channel. We are going to be doing some new content on the Wax Unfiltered channel, so make sure you subscribe to that channel. But subscribe to this channel, ladies and gentlemen. Hit that like button. We're going to be running through the latest news surrounding Arsenal Football Club, as well as the various other fraudulent clubs out here, like Man City, of course. They've been doing some dirty work, and they feel like they're going to try and cover up their tracks. Yeah, that's what they're trying to do. Brand envelope gang in the building. Big up all the real ones, man. I do apologize for running a little late, man. I was on a phone call, had to kind of wrap up one or two things there, but we are here live and direct in the flesh. Big up Adam Lee, AFC in the building. Big up Boss in the building. Big up Nort in the building. We've got Oding in the building. We've got SON in the building. Man like Johan in the building as well. Ace 12, John's here. Come on, the gang's here. The algorithm complex is in the building. He's definitely going to help with the algorithm on this one, isn't he? You better, bro. Big up Tope, big up Tobias, big up J-Dub as well, and DZ, Robin, Sergio, Joe King. So many names to mention. Much appreciate every single one of you. Peppermint, I see you as well. Hit that like button. So where we going to dive into? Arsenal contact to Amadou Onana. This is what the media are talking about at this moment in time. Arsenal pushing for Amadou Onana. The agent of Amadou Onana as well, trying to engineer a move out of Everton. And that is the agenda for them lot this summer. So whether he joins Arsenal or whether he joins another football club, it seems inevitable that Amadou Onana will be leaving. But let's see how Arsenal feel and what Arsenal are going to be doing to try and get this one over the line, because a lot of reports coming up this morning are suggesting that Arsenal have made contact. Arsenal have been talking with the agent, and you know, he's at the top of the list more or less. So let's see. And then we've got Arteta snitching on Guardiola. People are thinking, what are you talking about, Wax? Yeah, Arteta snitching on Guardiola. It's been, as we do know, their situation at Man City, what's going on at the moment. They've put this, they're suing the Premier League, but according to reports, Arsenal and various other clubs have been one of the reasons as to why some evidence has come to light about Man City, and we're going to talk a bit more about that, so don't go anywhere. Sesko updates, Tony Adams, ESR, RANT, and more, so don't go anywhere. Big up Keith, big up Zeeks as well, big up all the guys that are slowly joining. Big you guys up. Make sure we are hitting the like button, all of that type of stuff. We might as well start with Manchester City. It's kind of like one of the major talking points in the media at the moment. Arteta informing on Pep. That's wild. Yeah, he's fed up, man. He's fed up. He knows what Pep's under. He knows that Man City are out there dishing brown envelopes, trying to cover tracks up for the brown envelopes that they've already been dishing out, trying to, you know, pursue this, you know, this current situation with the Premier League, because I feel like they're trying to take control of the 115. They're trying to take control of the 115. They want to literally put a massive dent into that by causing problems leading up to that. It's crazy. The only time snitching is valid, you know, the maddest thing is, yeah, this situation with Man City, you know, when you listen to the rules, we're going to listen to some stuff, yeah, because I don't really know too much about it. Like, I do know about it, but you know what I mean. I'd rather these guys deliver it to you so we can kind of talk about it and share our opinion on it. But it is pretty wild, because I feel like the rules to a degree is fair, but then you have to say, like, how do the Premier League determine how much a club should earn through a sponsor? Like, this is what I want to know, and this is the question that hasn't been answered for me. How does the Premier League determine the amount a club should earn through a sponsor? Because I'm sure like Nike or anyone can come along and say to like Arsenal or whoever and say, you know what, for this sponsor that we do over a 5-year deal, we're going to give you, we'll do a £2 billion sponsor. Can the Premier League step in and say, oh, well, because no one else is doing £2 billion sponsors, you man are not allowed to do that? You also got to think with Man City and where Man City are at with who they are today. I mean, 10 years ago, yeah, it'd be questionable for Man City to be doing wild sponsors, but right now, you know, they're a big club, aren't they? You know, six Premier Leagues under Pep Guardiola. Then they've got the other Premier Leagues that come before Pep Guardiola. I think that was only 2. Then a domestic cup, Champions League, treble. You know, come on, man. It's like, it's mad. It's mad. Anyway, let's get into this. Big up all the real ones in the building. Big up FFT. Big up 00 Slice. I see you, broski. Big up Keith. All of you guys, man. Much appreciate you guys. So let's see what's going on here. There's a lot of waffling to actually get through. So let's see what's being said here. Sources say that the likes of Arsenal, Man United, Fulham, Wolves, Brighton, and Tottenham have given evidence supporting the PL. Some have provided witness statements. That's Arteta. While others have provided letters. Now, this is incredible. Published by Mike Keegan. He is basically saying that Arsenal have snitched, Man United have snitched, Fulham have snitched, Wolves have snitched. They're all back in the Premier League. And the Premier League in this legal case, of course, and it's actually wild. Now I want to listen to what this guy's got to say. This is a football finance expert, Kieran Maguire. He associated party transaction rules, the APT. Man City have submitted legal claim challenging the validity of the rules. Okay, so let's just hear what this guy's got to say. Hopefully the audio is working. Do comment down below straight away if the audio is not working, because I don't want to.
Well, the way that the rules operate is that if a football club has a commercial contract with anybody directly or indirectly connected to the owners, then that has to be assessed by what we refer to as a fair market panel.
And on that point, I kind of agree with that, because it's like you can do some muku. You can do some muku. You're an owner that owns a football club, and now your other business is going to sponsor that football club. So it's like a win-win for this owner, a win-win for this owner. And then obviously you're probably going to do some stuff that's going to be financially beneficial for you and your football club. Because at the end of the day, it's all coming back to you regardless. So, I mean, it's fair to say that there needs to be someone that assesses this, looks at this. If your owner owns this business and this business is sponsoring his own business, then they need to look at it and make sure that all sits well with the rules and regulations that they have in place.
As to whether if I have a contract with my son for him to wash my car and he's charging me £10,000 a year, they might say, oh, that looks a bit steep. So therefore they're going to do the same in respect of all contracts between football clubs. And the definition of an associated party is much broader than the historic one, which has operated in the Premier League. It's much broader than that of UEFA, and it's much broader than that of the accounting rules. So therefore, more people potentially can be caught in the net.
Why did the Premier League then vote to implement that implement them in February? It wasn't it?
Yes, I mean the Premier League confirmed in February the new rules, but this is actually sort of carrying on from rules which were introduced very shortly after Newcastle United was acquired by the Saudi Arabian Public Investment Fund. That appeared to be a knee-jerk reaction from the clubs in the Premier League who were concerned that Newcastle United would sign commercial contracts with partners and with sponsors in the Middle East, which would be at the upper end of the scale, and therefore that would give Newcastle a competitive advantage. So that was seen as effectively shutting down to a certain extent Newcastle's ability, and Manchester City were interested observers at that point. They weren't keen on the change of rules then, and they are now deciding to move a couple of years later to see how things go on a forward basis.
So yeah, Man City was not backing it then, and they're not backing it now. You know, it is a weird one, because again, I'm struggling to understand how you're able to determine the amount a sponsor should be for a football club. Like, what is the barometer? Where, like, I don't understand. I'm really confused. And how do they measure this out? What do they do to measure this out? How do they average this out? And how does a club increase their sponsor? How is a club eligible to increase their sponsor? What do? Do they have to keep winning more trophies? What do they do? Because if you think about it, where Man City are at right now, I don't know, it's their own club. Let's just talk about increasing sponsors right now. It's their own owner, sorry. Let's just talk about increasing sponsors. How are you able to increase that sponsor? I mean, I'm surely like any sponsor can come along and say to you, listen, Everton, I'm willing to just give you 100 million. If they're willing to do it as a sponsor, then, and Everton are willing to accept, then so be it. Who is to say anything about that? Who is to say anything about that? I don't understand. Do you know what I mean? But obviously, I get why this is a problem, because it's an owner of two businesses. So there's, you know what I mean? It can literally turn into some sort of brand envelope fraudulent activity taking place, and some money laundering, money being pumped here, pumped there. So they have to obviously scrutinize this and look at this differently, innit? But I'm just trying to understand how they determine the value of a team sponsor and what they should be able to. You know what I mean? I don't know, man. It's crazy. It's not the amount per se, it's the relationship. This is what I'm saying. Yeah, I know. This is the reason why they're looking at it. And it's obviously the things that can happen in between, and the brand envelopes and all of that type of stuff. Obviously brand envelopes covers a whole spectrum of things as well, just to let you guys know that. So when we say brand envelopes, we could be talking about a multitude of things. So yeah, just trying to keep it. You know what I mean? Tony Adams called out the brand envelopes. Yeah, listen, people have been calling out brand envelopes. Arsene Wenger was the first one to be calling out brand envelopes. Let's be real, man. So it's crazy. Wax, it could be any amount as long as both sides benefit around the same. Can't be a lopsided deal. Exactly. And surely the company that is sponsoring Manchester City have way more money than Man City. They're an oil company. Who's sponsoring Man City? Who is it? Is it Emirates? Who is it? I don't even know who their sponsors are. It's an oil company, isn't it? I don't know. It's crazy though, man. It's crazy. I'm just looking forward to seeing the outcome and what's going to happen with Man City. This is something that's just new to me, something that's just popped up on the scene over the past 24, 48 hours. I haven't even done too much reading around it because I don't care about it, but I will bring it to the attention of the viewers because I know some people do. What I'm extremely interested in is the 115. That's what I'm caring about, the 115, yeah? Yeah, what's going on with that bus? Has that bus arrived yet? Has the 115 bus arrived yet? Because we've been waiting at the fucking bus stop for ages, blood. Yeah? We're being told it's November. Yeah, all right, cool, November. We've got to wait till November to find out what's going on. Is it funny that Pep Guardiola said he's leaving after this season? Yeah, they know what's going on. They know what's going on. They come in, they've done their thing, and they're dipping out again. And Girona's probably the next. Girona's been the next target, has been the next target. And they do, and what they've got going on with Girona, another fraudulent activity scandal with the loan system, and even Man City, the loan system, fraudulent scandals, blood. They've got players at the club. They probably haven't even officially signed for the club, but I don't know. Somehow money's gone through Man City for that player, blood. So, you know, like some fraudulence like that. It's just some proper mad, dodgy activities going on. Girona is fully involved in it, and that's the next one. That's the next project. You know, like with these fraudulent activities, you have to come to a realization. If they are fraudulent, they can only happen for a certain period of time. You can't carry out fraudulent activities under these rules and regulations, under a body that's an entity that's actually overlooking all this shit. You can't pull the wool over everyone's eyes for that long. Yeah, 10 years might be enough, 15 years might be enough, but it will eventually catch up and you've got to move on. Now, I'm not saying this is what the owners of Man City are thinking and that this is the plan and the agenda and what they're actually doing, but it's looking a bit dodgy at the moment, isn't it? And then you've got people that are at Man City calling shots at Man City that was at Barcelona when they were doing brand envelopes. And I mean, the brand envelopes is caught up in Barcelona as well now. You know, you're not doing that brand envelopes anymore. Yeah, you got people on side with you because they love Barcelona, agents and so on and so forth. But yeah, brand envelope for Barcelona is a bit sticky at the moment. For Man City, it's becoming sticky, and they probably knew it was becoming sticky 4 or 5 years ago. How long? This would be a good thing to look at. And if anyone can do it for me, how long have they been the owners of Girona for? When did they take over at Girona? Because these are things that you can kind of look at and connect the dots. When did the Man City owners take over Girona? When did they become the owners of Girona? Someone in the chat, comment down below, let me know. We've got over 100 people in the building. Someone in here must know. Someone in here must know. Big up Shaheen in the building. Nothing but love and respect to you. Big up Bouncer. Big up Arsenal Avenger. Big up Sereda. Good to see you back in the building. Who else we got here? Big up Troy as well. Big up Joe. I see ya. 2006 was a Barcelona brand envelope moment. 110%. We know that. How do you value an investment if a club is winning trophies and can reach worldwide audiences? This is a question mark. This is what I want to know. That is literally a question. This is a question that I want to know. That how is this measured? How is this measured? Because right now, you know, anyone can come along and give Man City a massive amount of money. Whether they're willing to do that is a different story, but anyone can do that. How do they determine that? Can the Premier League, does the Premier League have a say in how much your sponsor is? If I get 2 billion sponsor and everyone else is getting, I don't know, 500, 600 million sponsor, does the Premier League then step in and say, oh, sorry, mate, your 2 billion sponsor looks a bit shady. You have to kind of average it out to at least 700, 800 million. I don't know. I just don't know how that works. You remember this rule as well, ladies and gentlemen, has only been implemented since Newcastle had their takeover. So it still is a bit of a grey area, especially for me, bro. Like, it's only been implemented since Newcastle had their takeover, which is literally less than 2 years ago, or just about 2 years now. So I don't know. It's interesting. But let's see what happens with Man City, man. They're not playing around. I think what they're trying to do right now is take control of the situation with the 115 and hopefully just throw a bag of dents in it, put bare holes in that case, and obviously put Premier League under pressure. Because if the Premier League, you know, get this wrong, this is what you have to understand. If the Premier League get this wrong and Man City win, then there's a strong possibility that many of those charges go out the window with the Premier League. You know what I mean? I don't know how many, but Man City have got a plan. They've got a plan, man. They know what they're doing, bro. These guys are fucking. You don't make these decisions and cook your books and do brand envelopes without a way out. You don't do it without a way out, bro. There's always a way out for the person that actually has the ultimate plan. It's always a way out for him. He doesn't make a plan without no way out. That's how the game works, bro. But these rules already existed in UEFA. PL was bringing rules in line with UEFA. Okay. So the owner rules was already existed, whereby if you own 2 clubs, you couldn't. I don't know, man. So if my water company is that huge in the Middle East, values my investment at 10 times more than the next club investment, how can you stop it when my water company will have more exposure to other worldwide mark? Point. Listen, Sereda, I don't know about all that political stuff, you know. Premier League will lose this fight, says Shaheen. What other comments we got going on in here? Big up Lionheart. I see you, my broski. Nothing but love and respect to you, man. Just to let you guys know, tomorrow the stream will be at 12:30 because I've got my barber appointment in the morning, nice and early, and I'm probably going to be running a little late because they're at a new location. So, but we'll start the stream tomorrow at 12:30, just to let you guys know. Premier League should have relegated City when they had the chance. Well, they've still got the chance. They've still got the chance, man. This 115 cases can't just go away. It has to go ahead. But let's see what's happening anyway, ladies and gentlemen. Do comment down below. Let me know all of that type of stuff. Hit the like button. Got well over 100 people locked into us. So make sure you hit the like button. Do subscribe. All of that type of stuff. All of that. But yeah, it does. You know, one thing I do wanted to say before we move on is that with Man City pursuing this court case and you know, planning to sue the Premier League for what was it again? Off the top, what was it again? Loss of earnings, I think it is. Loss of earnings, loss of revenue, I think, and then something else. It's crazy. It's crazy that they're doing that, and I don't know what they're going to be saying in terms of how they lost earnings because of the impact that's been made here. But it does make me feel like Man City are guilty. It makes me feel like they're guilty because if you're not guilty and you're dealing things by the book, you wouldn't even really care about this. You're just obviously you're doing something. You're doing something, can't you? You must be. You must be. You must be doing something for you to not be, because apparently Newcastle was meant to be backing Man City. They thought Newcastle was going to back Man City. Newcastle have said nope. The owners of Newcastle have stepped out and said, bro, yeah, I think you're in this by yourself, my guy. You know what I mean? Them man are trying to abide by the book. Them man are trying to stick to the rules. You know, they don't want to get themselves in, especially when you don't know. You know, imagine if you don't know what these guys have been doing, if these guys have been really dodgy and doing up brown envelopes. Like, why would you put yourself out there for this club? Doesn't make any sense. I don't care if we're from the same country, bro. What does that mean? What does that mean? If you don't give a shit about my neighbor, like I big up my neighbor, got respect for my neighbor, but okay, I'm not gonna put my neck out for my neighbor, bro. I mean, let's be real. So yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know what's going on with these Dons. Newcastle pulled out; they're not back in the thing. It makes me feel like Man City are proper guilty, and they've got something that they're trying to hide. So they're trying to, yeah, they're trying to come at this from a different angle. Definitely, several clubs have reportedly approached Julian Alvarez. Unfortunately for us, Arsenal are not one of them, ladies and gentlemen. We're not one of them. And he's a good player, but it doesn't look like Arteta likes this player. There's no real links. It's just Arsenal fans online suggesting that Arsenal are interested, not any media. But he will be leaving, according to Fabrizio Romano. No proposals or negotiations yet, but several clubs keen, also from England. Oh, that could implement Arsenal. Or indicate Arsenal, should I say. Man City want to keep Julian. Talks with his camp will follow about that. Obviously, the player is unhappy with Pep Guardiola. There's been some sort of falling out behind the scenes. He has told Pep Guardiola that he's not getting enough minutes. And he wants more minutes. So let's see what happens. Will he leave Man City? Will he join Arsenal? Or will he join someone else? I don't think he's going to be coming to Arsenal, to be quite fair. Let's not get gassed. Bayern Munich are willing to sell Kingsley Coman. Man United confirmed that they are renewing the contracts of Tom Heaton and Johnny Evans. You man are fraudulent. Man United have submitted an offer for Leno Yoro. Lille player, great centre-back, young, French, and not a lot of people were interested in him. Man United have submitted a 60 million bid for him in the last 24 hours, according to the reports. Anyway, let's move on to some Arsenal news, man. What's going on at Arsenal? We've got Benjamin Sesko update. Don't go anywhere. We're gonna listen to Tony Adams now. Tony Adams has got a bit frustrated, actually, and he's got a fair point. And I've been telling you guys about this, with ESR, with Eddie Nketiah, and what this has now done for us is, dent our chances of actually securing, decent money for these players, because no one's really going to come along now and put money down on the table for these players. Why? Because you haven't been playing them, and you haven't helped with their development. If you're not playing them, how are they developing? You're not helping them. So, and even the Saka situation, Tony Adams kind of reiterates his frustration at the fact that Saka's always playing and you've got other players that can play in that position and you're not playing them. What's going on, bro? So let's listen to what Tony Adams has got to say. When a legend speaks, you have to listen, right? So let's listen.
Yeah, they need to be playing, but if Arsenal are going to get to Man City, they need to play. And if I've got one criticism, and I've been very pro Arteta here.
Yeah, look, he has. There's obviously so much more to the interview. But he has been pro Arteta, but you got to be real. This is one thing that people fail to understand, is that if you are real, it doesn't mean that you're going against the manager, or you're going against the football club. You just got to say it as it is, man. If there's a problem and there's a problem, instead of kind of just trying to pave over that crack with some bullshit, you got to just say it as it is and say, listen, I have got one problem, and this is what it is, and I think we need to rectify it in order to kind of go up to that next level. And I would agree, because I think, when you've got young players developing, not giving them minutes, they're not developing. They're not growing mentally. Then you want them to become more mature, more confident. And one thing that we've seen with ESR and with a few of the players that maybe have been injured or not been given minutes, even Eddie Nketiah, confidence has been shattered. These guys look like they don't even want to be there. Do you know what I mean? But what this has ultimately done for Arsenal is kill the value of the player. And that's a problem. And this is something that Mikel Arteta needs to work on.
But one criticism is that he's not used them enough.
Yeah.
You know, Saka's, you always see him, you don't see him coming off hardly. You know, it's 90 minutes after 90 minutes after 90 minutes. You know, when the game's won, you're 2-0, 70 minutes, get him off, get Smith Rowe on to develop and stuff.
Exactly.
I think they've gone a bit stagnant. And
yeah, they have gone stagnant. And not even just stagnant. ESR, all of those players have regressed. Watching ESR this season in comparison to what ESR was doing 2 seasons ago, or in the 2 seasons ago. No, it wasn't even 2 seasons, 3 seasons ago. It's been time, bro. Wow. It was the season where Arsenal was sitting 15th in the league. Remember that season when Arsenal was sitting 15th in the league? And then we finished 8th that season. That was the season when ESR stood up. Him, Martinelli, and Saka.
And I think they're both probably, if I was them, I'd be looking to move. But I think if Arteta do a man management job.
A man management job. You see that? Man management job. And this is one of my problems with Arteta. He doesn't have the qualities, the man management qualities. He doesn't have them. He doesn't know how to, man manage players. He doesn't know how to really look after players, how to really develop a player. And that's the problem. And that's been a problem for a long time. A long time. There's only less than a handful of players that you can say have really developed and gone on to be much more better players than they were when Mikel Arteta took over. Do you know what I mean? There's only less than a handful, I would say. Or just about a handful. It's questionable, bruv.
And work with them and give them more time. He needs to give them more time, but that depends if we get another centre forward.
No, at this moment in time, you can't give them players more time. So I have to disagree with Tony Adams here and say, listen, the time was then. Those players weren't given time. We don't have time now. ESR, Eddie Nketiah, Reece Nelson, all you players that come through our academy that we thought were going to be X, Y, and Z. The time has now run out. Now, all you can do at this point is blame the manager for that, because the manager was in control of that time. However, he wasn't allocating the time to these players. And not only was he not allocating the time, but he wasn't giving them the right man management. And now they're falling off, mentally washed, technically washed. There was 1 or 2 moments that ESR had in a game a little while ago, but it's not the ESR of 2-3 years ago. Martinelli this season has not been the Martinelli of last season or the seasons before that. There's other players. Even Saka. Saka's GA, he's had the most GA, but even Saka has not been the player that he was. Like, if you go and look at Saka, there was the season where Arteta dropped Pepe and said to Saka, "You're my new right winger." You go and watch Saka that season. He was playing up front with a Lacazette and a Aubameyang. He had Saka on the right, Aubameyang Lacazette down the middle, Aubameyang on the left. Go and watch Saka in that season, and even the following season after that, whilst we still had Lacazette and Aubameyang. With those 2 players, Saka looks so much better than he does now. Yeah, Saka's getting all the GA now because a lot of our attack is being played through Saka. It's being tailored for him. Odegaard, Saka on the right-hand side. But if you go and watch Saka with Aubameyang and Lacazette up front, Saka was double the player he is now. The quality, what he was doing with the ball, how tenacious he was in moments. He was going left and right. He was cutting inside. He was doing a lot. I'm telling you, go and watch Saka under Mikel Arteta 2-3 years ago. He was better than the Saka that we see today. It's just that Saka today has probably grown. He's probably a bit more mature now. And obviously a lot of the players going through him, so he's getting a lot of the GA. But we're talking about overall play. Go and look at Saka 2 years ago and look at Saka today. 2 years ago, Saka was better than the Saka we see today. And I wouldn't be surprised. You know why I'm not surprised? And Avenger says that's total nonsense. I don't, you can disagree. It's entirely up to you. I think, you know, when you look at Saka 2 years ago, Saka 2 years ago had Aubameyang, he had Lacazette, he had Pepe, he had players around him that could show him one or two things, that could give him the confidence to try and do one or two things different to what he's used to doing. So it kind of, to a degree, helps him come out of his shell a bit. The Arsenal that we have today doesn't allow him to do that. Saka is the main Don today. So there's no one that can help Saka be better than what he is when it comes to movement, creating patterns, passing. Like, there's no one there to kind of help him go up a level. The only person that could probably inspire Saka at Arsenal right now is probably Martin Odegaard. The only one. Havertz can't teach Saka fuck all. No one else in this Arsenal team can teach Saka anything. Saka is what he is today. He has no real influences at the football club right now. He is the influence. But when he was playing under Aubameyang and those lot, they are all different type of players to what Saka is, especially Pepe. And, you know, you're trying to not emulate Pepe, but you're now being that right winger. And you're seeing Pepe try and do this, that, the other. So you start adding those type of things to your game. And, you know, go again, like I said to you, even though some people might not disagree. Trossard to a degree can, but I think, you know, I don't think Trossard has a lot in his locker that he can show Saka. Maybe a bit better on the ball control, but that's a bit about it. But, you know, even those players that we've mentioned there, again, they're all just kind of different in the way they attack and the way they play. So you can learn a lot from them. You know, you can take bits from their game, implement them, add them to your game, and it enables you to be a better player. He doesn't really have that at Arsenal now. So what you're going to get from Saka is a lot of repetitive stuff. It's going to be more repetitive. You know, it's going to be more repetitive than anything else. But it is what it is, man. Like I said to you, go and look at Saka 2 years ago. Right? It doesn't matter about the stats. It doesn't matter about the stats. It's not. I didn't put myself in no corner or anything like that. It's not about the stats. So people listen. A music video or a song isn't you don't make a judgment on how good a song is based on how many views that song gets. Okay, so when you're looking at numbers, that's noise for a minute. The noise, when you're looking at these type of conversations, the numbers are noise. The point I'm making is what Saka does on a pitch, the overall things that he was doing on a pitch for the team. He was doing so much different things, so much more things, effective things at those times. He looks so much more confident in his ability to go left and create something on that left-hand side. He looks so much more comfortable even using his right foot than he does now. And people might say, "Rah, but go and look. I swear down to you, I can show you highlights of Saka turning up in the 2021 season to 2020 and the 2021 season. What Saka was doing with a ball, on the ball, the way he was manipulating the ball. These are the things that I'm talking about. Forget stats for a minute. His movement, the way he was manipulating the ball, everything was so much better than what he does now. Right now, what he does is so much more simpler. He simplifies what he's doing right now. Very, very simple. And whether that's him being more efficient, you know, and whether that's Mikel Arteta wanting him to be more efficient, so be it. But for me, I'm looking at Saka as a player that can do so much more than he's doing. And if he continues to be repetitive, he continues to be one-dimensional, then, you know, it's just, for me, it's just, you know, I can't put you in a conversation with a Phil Foden because a Phil Foden's not one-dimensional. Do you understand? So, look, it just depends on how you look at things, really. It depends on how you look at things. It's crazy. I know there's a lot of people that understand what I'm talking about, but yeah, Saka was more unpredictable playing five-a-side football. He matured tactically, hardly loses the ball now. Stop lying, Shaheen. You come out with the most crap, bro. I've seen Saka dispossessed a lot of the time this season. What are you talking about? I've seen him give away some dickhead passes in important games. What are you talking about? Allow it. And this is not even an attack, but don't come out here and act like, oh no, he was more unpredictable playing five-a-side. Stop it, man. The guy was doing more with the football. He was manipulating the ball and doing so much more with the football 2-3 years ago than he is today. today Saka is really, really simple with what he tries to do. Do you know what I mean? Really simple. Maybe that's Arteta just telling him to just simplify your thing, bro. Don't overcomplicate it. Just simplify it. And that's what he's done. Makes him more efficient. I get it. Do you know what I mean? Like the goals that Saka's been scoring recently, he receives the ball, kicks it to his left and bangs it. You know, again, he's not taking too many touches. He's doing all those things. And I'm seeing it. Obviously, he's trying to be the main goal threat, or he is the main goal threat. So it makes sense to kind of make those movements in those moments at that time, because you're that guy. Do you understand? But there's so much more that he was doing before that in his game that he's just not doing now. And I preferred that Saka. I preferred what Saka was doing before. That's all it was anyway. But big up Saka, man. Big up Saka, bro. Play Saka as a cam position or up front. Saka needs to step up. Also, it seems he told to do the same thing every game as tactics by Arteta, so doesn't have the freedom either. Yeah, I was going to say that. It does look like that's the reason why he's so repetitive and it's so one-dimensional, because I think he's following instructions. He's not actually being himself. 2 years ago, when he was with Aubameyang and Lacazette, he was being more of himself. He was expressing himself and being more of a creative player in that sense. So that's a good point that you've made there, and that actually backs up the whole thing that I've been saying here for those that don't get it. Anyway, so Tony Adams says what he says, and I agree with Tony Adams there. But we have to move on because I've been waffling for so long, and time is ticking, bro. But don't have time. Don't have bloody time. So where are we? Let's move on to Benjamin Sesko and Amadou Onana, two main topics of discussion. So Benjamin Sesko, where are we at with this? So Fabrizio Romano has told us in the next days, the situation of Benjamin Sesko will become clear. The player will make a decision on his future as of today. I can guarantee 100% that not even Sesko himself knows where he will play next season. So this is what he has basically said. Then it's been re-quoted with this. It says, the first step has to be to inform Leipzig of his decision. He has to decide whether he wants to be the superstar of Leipzig for one more season or leave immediately. So be the superstar for one more season. You got to think, like, as a player, you're going to be looking at the Leipzig project. Is the Leipzig project feasible to actually win it? Can we do a Bayern Leverkusen? Can we win a trophy? Can we do something like that? Because if we can't, then there's no point being a superstar for one more season. What does it mean? It means fucking nothing. It means that we lost. It means that we lost. And in that same space of time, I could have gone to Arsenal and won the Premier League. So, you know, on that basis, if it's only for one more season, it doesn't make any sense for Benjamin Sesko to do that. And if RB Leipzig's pushing for that, then I think they've lost. I think Benjamin Sesko will say, you know what, we're moving to Arsenal. But if he was still played at Arsenal, we would have won the league. I mean, Aubameyang done over 40 GA for Marseille, bro. No Arsenal player done that this season, so he definitely weren't washed up. Swear Fabrizio Romano has been regurgitating the same crap every day. The only place he should be thinking of going is Arsenal, says Troy. Big up Gavin. He says going for Onana and Sesko when we need big trophies this year is absolutely diabolical. And when you put it into perspective, it is questionable. It actually is questionable. You know, Onana and Benjamin Sesko are two good players. They are two good players. And if you told me that, you know, I'm going to bring them in as backups or players that are going to just give us more depth, then I'm going to say, yeah, cool. But when you come in and tell me, no, actually, these are going to be the important players. These are going to go straight into the first team. I don't think that's going to be the case with Benjamin Sesko, but that's likely to be the case with Onana. Maybe not in the first couple of games, but he is here to replace Thomas Partey. He is here to be that 6. Declan Rice is going to be that 8. And then they'll interchange because of the way Onana can play as well. He can get forward. So, you know, that's what Mikel Arteta clearly wants. He wants 2 centre midfielders that can defend and attack. Both play as box-to-box midfielders. You understand? When one goes, one sticks. When the other goes, one sticks. That's literally how it's going to work here. And both of the players have got the technical prowess and the mental abilities and all the qualities to actually play in both of those positions. So it would make sense to me as to why Mikel Arteta would want to make that happen. But then you look at Onana and you look at Benjamin Sesko and you say to yourself, does that win you the league, Wax? Does that win you the league? No, it doesn't. It doesn't. Onana's been playing for a team that are on the verge of relegation or been swinging with relegation since he's been there. And then you've got Benjamin Sesko, that's an upcoming player. I mean, even Onana's an upcoming player, 21 years old, 22 years old. You know, we need proven experience. Now, lucky for teams like Man City, they had proven experience in their team, but what they needed was the cream of the crop. They needed that cherry on top, someone that was proven. You know, we didn't want someone that, yeah, looked good in the eye, but, you know, missed a bag of chances. You know, he wasn't clinical, you know, questionable at times. No, they went and looked at someone that was the cream of the crop, that was bagging goals, that was setting records, that kept getting better and better every season in terms of the numbers that he was putting up, because we didn't need anything from this guy other than the numbers. You understand? And that's how Arsenal need to think of it. We don't need the striker that we bring in right now. Yeah, obviously they need to have the technicals, they need to have all those type of things, right? But we only need that player right now for the numbers. Because we're doing numbers. We've done how many goals this season? How many goals did we do last season? Over 80, blood. Yeah, we're doing numbers, but it's just that we need that one guy that can give us the extra 5 to 10 numbers over the course of that season. You know, someone that can be that clinical factor in those big matches, in those finals, if we ever get to a final, but in those major competitions against the big clubs, you know. We will manage against the lower league teams, but when we're talking about those big teams, when we're talking about those important games, when the pressure is on, and you know you need to back, and you need a reliable bagsman, that's what we need. Now, Benjamin Sesko has the potential to be that, but as a fan, looking at what he has achieved so far, it doesn't give me the reassurances that I need. So therefore, I would rather Arsenal act like Man City did and go and get ourselves a fucking Haaland. The Haaland for us at this moment in time, the person that will come in and spread fear across the whole league, that will spread fear across the whole of the fucking Europe by joining Arsenal would be Gyökeres. If you make that deal happen, then that is exactly, it'll have the same impact that Haaland had. You have to bear in mind, people can say, well, Gyökeres is a no one, Haaland was a no one. He's just over at Dortmund scoring goals. Who gives a fuck? Who gives a fuck? Oh, yeah, his dad played for Man City before. Who cares? Who gives a shit? The guy looks like Shrek. He's a fucking... Bro, who cares? The guy was just a bagsman. And that's what we're talking about here. We just need the bagsman. You know what I mean? So, look, that's my stance on it, man. I'm not saying that I don't want Benjamin Sesko, but I would rather Benjamin Sesko and a bagsman. And Onana, you know, similar situation, man. I told you guys how I feel about Onana. I've kind of changed my opinion slightly over the past couple of months, because my original opinion on Onana would have been I want him at Arsenal. I like him. And I still want him at Arsenal, but not as the marquee, not as the main guy that's going to come in. If you're going to be a bench man, you rotate, you know, you're one of those type of dons, then yeah, so be it. But to be the direct replacement for Thomas Partey, based on what I've seen from you this season, opinion changed. And on that basis, I can't say that I want Onana as the main replacement, you know. So it is questionable. But what's being said about Onana? Oh, why do I keep doing this, bro? What's being said about Onana? So we have Fabrizio Romano says Arsenal have inquired over the availability of Amadou Onana to Everton. Concrete talks between the clubs haven't taken place yet, but he is one of their targets. Arsenal have held preliminary talks with Everton midfielder Amadou Onana, according to Give Me Sport and Fabrizio Romano. And then there was another one that I wanted to read. I don't know where it's gone, man, with the agent one, where his sister's the agent. Where is that? Oh, no, man, I don't think I retweeted it. But yeah, so basically there's another one saying that the agent, who is his sister, is Amadou Onana's sister. She's basically been in direct conversations with Arsenal, personal terms, all of that type of stuff. But I can't find the tweet. I didn't retweet it, unfortunately. But yeah, like my general thoughts, man, on Amadou Onana is he's a good player, and you know, bringing him in for squad depth makes sense. But as the main replacement for Thomas Partey at this moment in time, just doesn't sit well with me. I think we need a real experienced, world-class player. We need to really break the bank. We don't want to don't shy away. Don't get scared. You know, I think the reason why we have to take this approach is because of the ROI, the fact that Arsenal are not selling players, and the fact that you haven't delivered any trophies. If, like, for example, last season, if if we would have won an FA Cup or if we would have won a Carabao Cup, then maybe the finances might be a little bit different and the approach to players might be a little bit different. But for the simple fact that Mikel Arteta and Edu, as a joint partnership, has not been able to deliver an ROI of player sales or of trophies, Stan Kroenke and them lot have to kind of refigure out the right approach for the manager and the right approach for the transfer window. You know, we still want to obviously improve. We still want to make sure we bring in quality that's young and going to continue to improve and develop and get better and potentially be one of the best. But we have to really be smart with how we're attacking this market because of the finances and because of the way we've run the project so far. You know, we've spent billions. Well, I say billions, I include the wages in that as well, yeah, because, you know, we've spent over $1 billion on the project, including the wages. But there's got to be an ROI, man. Onana has a sixth sense for interceptions and tackles. Yeah, he's a good tackler of the ball. That's one thing I do like about him. Big up Roland. He says, if can't afford Guimaraes, then go for I can never get his first name out. Kefren Turam, of course. Yeah, man, I like him. He's being linked with Liverpool as well at the moment. I want level raisers, not Onana. Your opinions don't matter. Okay, so why are you sitting here watching me for? What the hell are you here for, bro? I don't understand. You're here just trolling, yeah? Okay, big you up. Have a lovely day. If you think Sesko's class, go watch the Liverpool, Chelsea, City games. You think it's different. So what is he pouring? Looks like Shrek dying at work. Shrek, boy. He's having an op at the Mo Wax. Eucharist getting knee injury. Oh, yes. I heard about that as it goes. Sad times. Still be able to get him over the line. No worries. If you are getting Onana and Sesko, you are improving the depth of your squad, but you are not improving the squad. Big up Bar. And that's the reason why we're concerned. Because we're improving the depth of the squad, but we're not in. So we are improving the squad. We are improving the squad, the depth of the squad, but we're not improving the quality of the first team. And that's probably the best way to put it. We're improving the squads, but we're not improving the first team. That's probably the best way to put it. Because those, like Onana, with all due respect to him, doesn't necessarily walk into our first team, does he? He doesn't walk into our first team. There's going to be a lot of people that will say, actually, I would rather Jorginho start over Onana. People are like, what? What? But you know what I mean? I just don't think Onana does walk into our team. If Thomas Partey was fully fit, if Jorginho is fully fit, I don't think Onana walks in. I think he comes off the bench and he develops. And the same can be said for Benjamin Sesko. Well, actually, what am I talking about? We don't even have a striker, bro. Havertz. Yeah, Benjamin Sesko is probably better than Havertz. We'll probably find that out real soon. Oh, man. And again, look, this is not how I would have wanted my Arsenal project to go. Like, this is not the type of signings that I would have been bringing in. Like, this is how I know. I would have made the Arsenal project bang from a long time ago, blood. It wouldn't have taken me all the way to 2025 and still not had won a Premier League yet. Like, that wouldn't have been the case with me. Like, that wouldn't have been the case. Players would have been gone. Players would have been brought in. I would have won shit. I would have won shit instantaneously. No fucking waiting. Like, literally. You know? Might have been 1 or 2 seasons. But after that, come on, man. A team like Arsenal, it shouldn't be taking, like, a manager 4 or 5 seasons with a team like Arsenal to win the league. Like, it doesn't. It doesn't. You know, regardless of Pep Guardiola and their brand envelopes. Do you know what I mean? Like, it is basically telling me, like, okay, all right, Aaron, you're getting on my nerves now, bro. Like, you're not even getting put in timeout. You're getting bans, bro. Just get the fuck out of here. I don't want to see your fucking name. Get out of here, bro. We need more big players, big space players. Big space players? Tight space players, you mean? To facilitate those transitions. Yeah, you mean tight space players. To facilitate those transitions in big games. We have seen our style evolve in that way. Yeah, that we are very, very dangerous in the transition when players are 100%. You know, Odegaard sets that trend. He definitely sets that trend. You know, we definitely need more players in the middle of the park that have a similar outlook on football to Odegaard's. you know, so they can create similar patterns and create patterns. Like it's just kind of like Ozil and Sanchez and Cazorla. And that's the reason why those three players, when they come together and they combined, yeah, Cazorla, Ozil, and Sanchez, the manager knew what he was doing. He knew what Sanchez was capable of doing. He knew what Ozil was capable of doing, and he knew what Cazorla was capable of doing. He brought them those three together, and those three created magic in the most disgustingest times at Arsenal. In the times where we sat there and we thought it's over, we're never gonna be close to winning the Premier League. They created magic, and they gave us happiness in those times, man. But you know, if you think about it, that free connection, see that connection that the three players had, Sanchez, Ozil, and Cazorla. Do we have a real connection like that at Arsenal right now? Do we have a real connection? I could say Odegaard and Saka have built up a connection. Declan Rice, maybe, but it isn't as strong. I don't think it is as strong as what Cazorla, Sanchez, and Ozil had. What Sanchez, Ozil, and Cazorla had was out of this world, bro. Out of this world. We need more pace and running power. You have won the UCL, right? What, on Football Manager? Bro, I won the Premier League with Burnley, blood. What do you think I'm doing with Arsenal? Please, man, allow me. That's a game. I'm talking about in real life, I swear to you, bro. I swear to you. Give me the resources that Arsenal have got. Give me the time that Mikel Arteta's had. I would have won the Premier League and the Champions League by now, mate. I tell you. But anyway, guys, I'm going to wrap this up. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you ever so much for joining me this morning. Make sure we are hitting the like button. As I said to you guys, the stream tomorrow is going to be late. I've got my barber's appointment in the morning. It's at 9:30 in the morning, but you know, I've got to travel and so on and so forth. So yeah, 12:30 tomorrow. Make sure you're back here. 12:30. That is when we're going to be live back on the channel tomorrow. Hopefully we have some positive news. Hopefully we have more Arsenal news to actually talk about. There is a few other things that we can discuss, but I don't have the time, I'm afraid. So hit that like button, do subscribe, all of that. I will try and be as early as I can tomorrow as well, man. Big up Abdullah, big up Mad Miaz, big up the Lincolnshire Gunner. Big you up, man. Thank you for subscribing. Big up Arsenal's Avenger. Much appreciate you. Ace 12, Mikey, appreciate you guys. Tobias, Naruto, all you guys, man. Much appreciate you guys. Joe, I appreciate you as well, man. A couple of Joes in the building today. Couple of Joes. That's my cousin's name as well. CNC. Yeah, man, I got you. All right, man. Peace and love, and I look forward to seeing you guys on the next one. Peace.